The Quality Act is a law that was introduced to make things about crypto clearer, or to start explaining what it actually is. Except market stalkable no knees careeria, the quaraniner Walter Pass a Fislav Ripast Roy the set and page thing to beady. This part is really important because honestly, cryptocurrency has only been around in this world for just over 10 years. So over the past decade or so, everyone in the crypto industry has kind of been operating in a gray area. No one really knew if what they were doing was right or wrong. Basically, one day you might find out that cryptocurrency is legal or illegal, but in the meantime, you could get in trouble with the police or the SEC. They could charge you with some kind of offense, bleep, 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 and fine you billions of dollars. There have already been people who got hit with that. Or, for example, right now, there's the use of stablecoins, which are a type of cryptocurrency, right? So these new regulations need to be clear because cryptocurrency, digital money, it's a new financial system. But how can you be sure the old one won't die out? The old system, or the traditional financial system I'm talking about, is the banking system, fiat money, the money we use every day. In this video, we're going to look at what banks are actually afraid of when it comes to crypto, and whether there are any laws in place to control it, to make sure that the traditional financial system, which has made people rich for so long, can still survive. And before this, I actually made a video about it. I really want you to go back and watch the video about the digital control grid because I mentioned before that the digital control grid is about controlling money in order to control people in power. There are three things needed for this: programmable money, digital ID, and the hardware to control everything. The Quality Act law, will be the foundation for all of this. For creating programmable money and building the control grid system, there are a lot of benefits involved, like being able to control people or maybe even reduce debt, things like that. And if anyone is thinking, oh, the stablecoin law passed in America probably won't affect me, you might want to think again. This time, it's going to be a law related to digital money. That concerns us more than anything else in history ever has. You can support the Quality Act clip of the Sci Money Modder channel through this QR code, or you can easily support the Sci Money Modder channel in many ways. You can leave a comment to chat, hit like, share, and what I'd love most is for you to hit subscribe for me. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to me from the very beginning, since the channel was really, really small. Because now, our YouTube channel, we've reached 400,000 subscribers. Give yourself a round of applause and thank you all. Love you all. Now, let's get into the Quality Act. Why was it introduced? It's clear. The Quality Act aims to make all the rules and regulations in the world of cryptocurrency more transparent. This will play a crucial role in determining. It's about the structure for actually using digital currency seriously in this world. And of course, you, me, and everyone else will be living in that reality. But I have to say, this law, the Quality Act, is still in the drafting stage. It hasn't been finalized or officially decided on yet. So let's take a look at who's currently fighting over it. They're not fighting, but rather negotiating. Like, what benefits should I get? What benefits should you get? And what benefits should you not get? So let's first look at the players in this game. Who are the players? Number one, the ones who are unimaginably rich. Literally the richest in the world are the top asset managers on the planet. There are three of them. Yes, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. And honestly, these three are the ones who manage the largest amount of assets in the world. So I'm not really sure if Charity Act would be that interested because no matter how the law turns out, these three parties all benefit. So the second player here is also extremely powerful, not any less so, and that's the major banks, especially starting from the world's largest institutions like Bank of America and JP Morgan, and then followed by all the other commercial banks where everyday people deposit their money. Basically, they're all getting incredibly rich. Next, the crypto lobby refers to the group that actually runs crypto. issues cryptocurrencies or operates exchanges, like Coinbase, Circle, and so on, as well as various other exchanges. What's interesting about this clip is that all three parties have completely different interests. Now, let's get into the players. I'll skip over the first player for now because it seems like, honestly, no matter which side, they still benefit anyway. So let's move on to the second player, the second biggest group, the banks. So for starters, the first question is, hey, if the world shifts to using digital currency, will traditional banks be able to survive? And the second big question we need to ask is, what do banks have to be afraid of when it comes to crypto? Honestly, when you put it like that, I start to think, hey, maybe banks should be worried about the high-tech nature of crypto. Are they afraid of how it's used, afraid of digital systems, or maybe afraid of changing consumer behavior? Something like that, right? That might be true, but it's just too small a subset. Because in reality, all those things I mentioned aren't really what banks are afraid of when it comes to crypto. When I took the time to really read the Tricity Act, I realized, oh, actually, what banks are afraid of about crypto is just one sentence. They're afraid of losing customers. Why is that? Let me explain the business model of banks first. How do banks make a profit? Where does their income come from? Banks make money by having us deposit our money with them, and then they take our deposits and lend them out. The interest rate they charge on those loans can vary, but it's usually quite high. And how much interest does the bank pay us on the money we deposit? Just a tiny bit. Yeah, so the difference between the interest the bank charges when they lend out our deposited money, which is high, and the interest they pay us for our deposits, which is just a little bit, that difference is called the net interest margin. That's basically the bank's profit. But in any case, the interest the bank pays to depositors is just a small amount. Exactly. Underline it. It's really, really little. Like just a tiny, tiny bit. Right now, it's just 0 point something, barely over 1%. Meanwhile, stablecoins, if you stake your money, meaning you just deposit it somewhere, like with USDC or something like that, getting 4% or 5% interest is totally normal right now. Getting 4 to 5% interest is actually higher than the profits you can make from the S&P 500 right now. Just imagine, let's say you know that if you convert your money into USDC and just leave it on an exchange like Circle or something, and you get 4% or 5% interest, what would that situation look like? The situation would be, why would I ever deposit my hard-earned money in a traditional bank? I'd much rather exchange it for USDC and store it securely within Circle or something similar. The banks would eventually face total bankruptcy, right? This means that if stablecoins offer significantly higher interest rates, it would be the exact point that completely undermines and destroys the traditional business model of banks. And this would make the entire concept of the fractional reserve system collapse from within its own structure. I once made a cute, easy-to-understand video explaining fractional reserve. Feel free to go back and watch it. But let me explain a bit here so you can understand the context of this clip too. Fractional reserve means that when we deposit money in the bank doesn't have to keep all of that money, 100% at the bank, because fractional reserve means just a portion. The exact amount depends on the laws of each country, or according to each bank's specific requirements for how much they need to keep as reserves. For example, if the rule is that the bank must keep 10% as reserves, that means if I deposit 1 million baht in the bank only needs to keep 10%, which is 100,000 baht. The remaining 900,000 baht, the bank can lend out right away. And once the bank lends out that 900,000, the person who borrows that 900,000, if they deposit that money into another bank, the numbers in the banking system will increase to 1,900,000. This is what money printing is. It's one way money becomes inflated without actually printing more cash. This is called bank money, the creation of money in the banking system through credit. Okay, I won't go deeper than this. Let's not go overboard. So let's get back to the carry trade. Right now, while Meanwhile, someone is drafting a law called the Digital Asset Market Carry Act. That's the full name. It's 309 pages long. While everyone is busy with this draft, negotiating and discussing it, of course the banks are involved. They have to go into Congress with the goal of eliminating yield, or the interest paid on stablecoins. So the question is, can banks do this? Banks, as those who have always held the money and power, have quite a lot of influence. So yes, they can do it. That's why it's written word for word in the draft law. Let me read it for you. Section 404 of the Carry Act includes something called the sense of Congress. It might sound ceremonial, but actually, it's the bank's argument, which states that the returns from stablecoins may interfere with the key role of financial institutions, i.e. banks, in the economy. It's written exactly like this: inhibit depository institution key function in the economy. So in this draft law, it clearly states that anyone who issues or creates stablecoins is prohibited from giving yields or paying interest on stablecoins, whether directly or indirectly in any form whatsoever. Even if it's a digital token, it's not allowed. You might ask, did the banks request this from Congress? Of course they did. After all, banks have been one of the main sponsors of the US government for a very long time. All right, moving on to the next players, the crypto lobbyists, the ones running the crypto industry. So what do crypto lobbyists want? They want three things. First of all, everyone wants legal clarity for running their businesses, for issuing crypto, for anything related to crypto. Because up until now, people working in the crypto business, those issuing crypto, running crypto, operating crypto exchanges, have just been doing things as they go along. And they just keep hoping and feeling nervous, like, hey, we're working here, but any day now, could the police or the SEC come after us? And when the SEC does come after you, they hit you with a bunch of charges. Money laundering, being involved in shady stuff, and then the fines are in the billions. Binance already got hit with this, right? Changpeng Zhao ended up going to jail. So the Crypto Act has become the hope for all these crypto lobbyists. They want it written out clearly, what you can and can't do, what they want and don't want. What's good, what's not good, just spell it all out. And what are the requirements? Do you need a license? If you need one, then who do you get permission from and for what? Just make everything clear and straightforward. That way, you won't have to worry about getting in trouble with the police. And the second thing that all the crypto lobbyists want is self-custody protection. That is, legal rights. It provides the opportunity for people to hold Bitcoin and to manage their own crypto by themselves without being restricted or prohibited by the government. This draft law actually includes that provision, so that's a bit of good news. It's in Section 605, which is specifically called Keep Your Coin. It means that government agencies have absolutely no legal authority to prohibit self-custody protection. Every citizen has the fundamental right to hold their own cryptocurrency by themselves without being banned by the government. That sounds all well and good, but the real issue here is that you have this right only until the government decides to tell you that you don't. Because in this law, it also states that people have the right to self-custody protection to hold their assets by themselves. If there's no reason for the government to suspect that a citizen doesn't have the right, then in the end, it all comes down to the discretion and judgment of government officials. Whether this person is allowed to hold it, whether it's money laundering, or if there's any kind of prohibition, they can do so under this exception. And the third point that the crypto lobby wants is the protection of software developers or anyone involved with crypto. Because over the past several years, people who create crypto software have been accused of being involved with money transmission without a license, which is a criminal offense. They get fined and sent straight to jail. So the crypto lobby wants something like this. And as I kept reading through this, there was a point where I felt, huh? Can they really do that? Seriously? It actually sounds pretty good. So basically, when it comes to crypto laws, stablecoins, CBDCs, wait, the US government isn't going to get involved? For real? The government won't issue CBDCs or stablecoins? So the government itself won't be the one issuing stablecoins or CBDCs. Digital control grid? Is that even possible? Not that I want digital control, but in the Criticity Act, it states the Federal Reserve is prohibited from opening accounts or providing services to individuals. It also prohibits using CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, for monetary policy. Sounds too good to be true. It's like the government loses control, but who knows for sure? Let's look at some more information. They say that the right to issue stablecoins is given directly to private companies. But anyone who wants to issue a stablecoin must be under full federal regulation. That means the central government, the Treasury Department, and all those agencies will directly oversee it. And most importantly, anyone who wants to issue a stablecoin must have U.S. Treasury securities, or U.S. government debt, or government bonds. These are all the same thing. Backing that stablecoin must be a one-to-one value, meaning if you want to issue 1 million stablecoins, or $1 million, you must have $1 million worth of U.S. government bonds backing it. So when it works like this, anyone holding that stablecoin, even if you just have one coin, it's as if you own a U.S. government bond yourself. Even if you just have one coin, it's the same thing. To put this part in simpler language, yes, they ban the government from being the one to issue a CBDC. Or the government might say, I won't issue a CBDC myself. It's a waste of my time. I'll just use private companies. Basically, I'll outsource it. But whatever the case, even if I outsource, I'm still overseeing and controlling everything myself. And this connection with the most strategic part is that if private companies want to issue stable coins, they have to buy government debt to use as collateral, because that debt will strengthen the U.S. government bond market as it gets exported to the global retail market. Stablecoins will end up on everyone's mobile phones around the world, no matter whether you know it or not, whether you want it or not, you'll probably end up with it. And if stablecoins are backed by U.S. government bonds, I can't really imagine, let's say, for example, if the value of stablecoins drops, then they'll probably reduce as well, something like that. Everything I've mentioned so far, the Clarity Act, hasn't been finalized or officially rolled out yet. There's still more to keep an eye on. But what I want everyone to pay a bit more attention to is that the Clarity Act, as I mentioned at the beginning, is just one part of what's called programmable money, which is a key component of the control grid. Keep an eye out for the control grid clip after you finish watching this video. I'll put the link right here for you.